is a presentation of HBO Sports.
Welcome to another edition of Boxing After Dark, coming to you. Salido. Gamboa weighed in at 126 pounds. He rehydrated on our unofficial scales up to 140. The same for Salido. Max, let's take a look at this weight division, the featherweights.
Here we go, the belt holders. As usual, the less interesting guys are the belt holders. There's Chris John, longtime belt holder, super champion now in the WBA, believe that or not. Elio Rojas is a good boxer, one loss. Salido, we just mentioned. Juan Manuel Lopez, maybe a super fight down the road with Yuriorkis, Gamboa, who we're about to see. And here are the other notables at featherweight. There are two guys entering the division, Caballero and Rafael Marquez, who's fighting Lopez in a few months. Gamboa has a belt because, as I said, Chris John is the super champion in WBA. They do that either when you unify the title, they make you their super champion, then someone else becomes their regular champion. Sometimes they just decide a guy's a super champion. Problem, Bob, is this is a unification fight with the WBA, right? So if Gamboa wins the fight, isn't he also the super champion? Will the WBA then have two super champions? If they fight, is the winner then the super duper champion? If they were super featherweights instead of featherweights, would the winner be the super duper super featherweight champion of the world? Why is boxing having problems? Why is boxing having problems?
You're all fired up. But you know what, Max? All we want to see is good fights. And this is a big test for Yuriorkis Gamboa tonight. 29-year-old Orlando Salido with 34 wins on his resume, coming off a 12-round decision win against Cristobal Cruz, avenging a split decision loss in 2008. Salido really confident coming into this fight. He says, look, I understand Gamboa had a great amateur career, but let's face it, who has he fought? He's got great speed, but we know he can go down because, let's face it, Gamboa has been down 4 times.
And Salido has a sneaky right hand. He heats up as the fight goes on, as I mentioned earlier, as most pressure fighters do.
And Max, this guy turned pro at the age of 15. He's been at it a long time, 291 rounds as a pro.
You look at his record, it's in 3 stages. When he was a teenager, getting beaten up by men. Then as he matured, starting to hold his own. And then when he started earning enough to become a full-time fighter and leave his day job as a construction worker, he's become a much more successful world-class fighter.
And he mentioned the fight against Juan Manuel Marquez. That payday enabled him to give up work in construction and become a full-time fighter. Well, Yuriorkis Gamboa, we last saw him here on HBO's Boxing After Dark on January the 23rd at Madison Square Garden against Rogers Motagua. And I'll tell you what, it was a dominant performance by Gamboa against a rugged Motagua.
This is the kind of stuff that Gamboa has. If you don't have anything to slow his roll, he will roll right over you, and he did it against Motagua early.
Dropped him in the first round, knocked him down twice in the second round, and finished him off in the second round with a TKO. Very impressive by Gamboa in New York City. After that, he had a 12-round win in Germany against Jonathan Barros to make the 3rd defense of his belt. Born in Guantanamo, Cuba, the 2004 Olympic gold medalist was favored to win a gold medal in Beijing in 2008, but decided to defect in 2006 while training in Venezuela for the Pan Am Games. Crossed into Colombia, signed with a German-based promotional company. So he's got a fan base in the United States, especially in South Florida and in Germany.
I mean, he is the most talented of all the Cuban stars who've defected. that we've seen so far, and the sky is really the limit, given his athleticism, his attitude in the ring, his general aggressiveness, and his improved technique as a pro.
You know, and he said a lot of the Cubans that have come to the United States have not had the great success. He said it wasn't just to get to the U.S., but it was to maintain that hunger to stay great, stay disciplined, stay dedicated, and not relaxed. And so far, the 28-year-old Gamboa has held up that end of the bargain. So, time for the official introductions once again to the ring and Lupe Contreras.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Pearl at the Palms Resort and Casino, this is the main event of the evening, being brought to you by Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated in association with Arena Box Promotions, Promociones Sanfer, Tecate, Cerveza con Carácter, and HBO Sports. This bout, 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF and WBA Featherweight Championships of the world. Supervising for the IBF, Lou Pryluker. For the WBA, Renzo Bagnariol. Our judges scoring the bout are Dick Houck, Robert Hoyle, and Paul Smith. The referee in the ring, fair but firm, Joe Cortez. And now, ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, Mexico and Cuba. ¿Quién es el más macho? Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He steps into the ring wearing Cubano red, white, and blue. His official weight, 126 pounds. As an amateur, he conquered the Olympic gold medalist in '04, representing his homeland of Cuba. And as a professional, he has gone on to an unblemished record consisting of 18 victories. 15 of those victories coming by way of knockout. The reigning WBA Featherweight Champion of the world. De Guantánamo, Cuba, el Ciclón de Guantánamo, Yuriorkis, Gamboa. His opponent across the ring in the blue corner. He steps in wearing black, trimmed in gold. He weighed in officially at 126 pounds. As a professional, he maintains a record consisting of 34 victories against 10 losses, 2 draws, 1 no decision, with 22 of his victories coming by way of knockout. The IBF Featherweight Champion of the world. De Ciudad Obregón, Sonora, Mexico, Orlando, El City Salido.
Okay, Gamboa, Salido. Caballeros, ya vi las reglas a los dos en el camerino. Espero una pelea limpia. Los golpes aquí están buenos, aquí los pies están buenos. Protégese en todo momento, que Dios los bendiga a los dos y suerte.
Orlando Salido heats up as the fight goes on, but Yuriorkis Gamboa starts white hot. Can Salido even get out of those early rounds to test Gamboa late?
Gamboa's been on the canvas 4 times. Salido has been stopped 5 times. But they all came in his first 15 bouts, all in Mexico. He was knocked out in his pro debut. Remember, he turned pro at the ripe old age of 15. You can almost discount that stuff early in his career. That was 14 years ago. Gamboa in the silver, blue, and red. Salido in the black and gold. 10 of Gamboa's 15 knockouts have come within the first 2 rounds.
When Gamboa started his pro career, there was very little circling and feeling out. There was just the bum's rush. And he's so fast and explosive a puncher that he could get away with it. Started getting dropped as the competition stepped up a little bit, and he's made an effort to refine his technique. And we see here he's certainly not giving Salido the bum's rush yet.
You know what else he's refined nicely is his English. During our fighter meetings, he was throwing in a little English.
He works with an English tutor.
He realizes what it's all about. He said, listen, I'm aggressive, people like that. It's my quality. He understands that part of the deal is to put on a good show.
Well, in comparing him to Juan Manuel Lopez, and the top ranked, their promoters' idea is to build this into a super fight. Good right hand from Gamboa, right up the middle. Lopez looked, well,
there's the speed by Gamboa.
You see he just offensively overwhelming Gamboa when he lets his hands go. But early on, as I mentioned, he'd been dropped a couple times, and suddenly it looked like, well, maybe a guy like Lopez is too technically good for him. But recently, Gamboa has looked so good that most people you talk to favor him to beat anyone in the division, maybe except for Caballero.
Salido thought about that long right hand and thought otherwise, knowing the speed of Gamboa, being able to counter a wild shot. Right hand touched the body of Salido. Gamboa blocks most of that combination from Salido. End of round 1.
Toma ahí.
Breathe, breathe.
Toma ahí. Dame
Breathe.
el control de vos. Toma ahí.
Breathe.
Ven, lo hiciste muy bien.
You see,
metiste el
did
swing
very
izquierda
good.
con el recto de derecha
You
muy
got
bueno.
that combination with the
Pero
left
acuérdate
and
que
the
no se le
right.
puede repetir lo mismo.
It was very good.
Varía.
But you can't repeat the same thing. Change it up. Change it up. If you're winning the round, don't risk it because you're winning it. You've got to use your combinations, compact combinations. You must throw more punches. You're too tense. Relax. Your conditioning is great. You've got that. Throw punches. Throw those punches, especially in those first few rounds. Loosen up. Fast. Loosen up.
Max, you saw the great Daniel Zaragoza in the corner of Salido. They've been working together now for a couple fights.
Zaragoza is, when you talk about the greatest chins of all time in boxing, there are 2 names really on the list. It boils down to Jake LaMotta and Daniel Zaragoza. And from the looks of the first round, Salido is going to need some Zaragoza-like ability to absorb punishment to win this fight.
Cuidado con la cabeza, cuidado con la cabeza.
Both guys go downstairs.
Venga, limpio, limpio. Venga.
Score with a hook to the body. So Cortez reminds both fighters to keep them up. Max, you could make the case that, pretty good case too. It's the best opponent that Gamboa has faced so far, as far as the experience and everything else. Be interesting to see how, as this fight develops, when it's not just all going his way, how he deals with it.
I agree with you, and Salido weighed in today much heavier than he weighed in yesterday, so Gamboa is also fighting a naturally bigger guy at this moment.
On our unofficial scales, they both checked in at 140
Watch your hands
from
inside.
the 126 level. Right hand behind the ear of Gamboa. Salido touches him with a jab. Both swap right hands.
No pegue, no pegue.
Sometimes you get the impression from Gamboa when he does what he just did, you know, boom, boom, boom. Then he kind of relaxes, like it's almost too easy for him.
I mentioned Pacquiao because one of the many things that I think has attracted so many fans to Manny Pacquiao is he has the ability, the speed, to be a stinking kind of fighter who wins, you know, nevertheless wins his fights. He has the technique to do it too, I think. But instead, he applies it aggressively. And it's very rare you get a guy who's that fast and hits that hard and is also aggressive, but isn't just a reckless brawler. As I mentioned, that's the hope with Gamboa. But it's a fine line because you see Gamboa trying not to be reckless, and as a result, maybe he's a little too far behind the line in terms of offering entertainment value in this fight so far. Maybe.
Gamboa camp said we want to provoke the attack. And a knockout is important for us to achieve. End of round number 2. October 23rd, don't miss the premiere of our 4-episode series, 24/7, Pacquiao Margarito, your all-access pass into the lives of both fighters as they prepare for their November matchup. Then on November 13th, HBO pay-per-view brings you the live fight between Pacquiao and Margarito from Cowboys Stadium in Arlington, Texas.
Don't let him box anymore, Salido. You're letting him box. You're letting him box. That's why he's beating you.
And there's Mira Salido, the wife of Orlando. Checking the action out. Orlando has a son, Brian Orlando Salido, and daughter Gina Michelle Salido. They did not make the trip here to Las Vegas, but Mira is here. Salute on her husband. Round number 3 underway as we check in with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
Okay, Bob. 2-0, 20-18, Yuriorkis Gamboa. Bob, I got to tell you, you made a very interesting point. I don't know if you realized it, but Yuriorkis, yeah, let me tell you, Yuriorkis Gamboa did the same thing in both rounds. He hit the guy, it looked like he staggered him, and then he stepped back to admire his work.
Well, here's the Gamboa that everyone who follows boxing and follows Gamboa has grown to love.
Yeah, I was going to say, you never see anybody do something like that. He did it in round 1, halfway through the round, then with about 1:15 to go in round 2. Same thing, he hurt Salido, stepped back to admire his work. I mean, the only one I ever saw do that, Bob, was in England, Chris Eubank. He used to do that because he was a showboat. But, you know, Gamboa's got to step in and take advantage of the shots when he hurts.
Well, I think lots of guys have done that, have hurt guys and stopped to admire their work, but Gamboa hasn't been that kind of fighter so far. And you see him trying to stay disciplined, and I think that's the outcome, is that maybe he's not always following up his advantage. He seemed to make up for it this round, though.
Well, I mean, you know, although a different style fighter, I mean, how many times did we see Pernell Whitaker in against a tough guy? Like, just dominate and then just stop and say, all right, you know, I'll do this again whenever I want.
Are you trying to get me to say something bad about Pernell Whitaker? You know it's impossible.
No, of course not.
Yeah, but Whitaker didn't have Gamboa's punch.
No. I'm not saying the same. I'm just saying that guys that are talented, sometimes it comes so easy that they just stop and say, no big deal, I'll do it again.
Right.
When I want.
They lack the kind of crowd-pleasing killer instinct as it's known. Gamboa's always seemed to have that.
Funny too, because Salido, part of the game plan was to pressure this kid. Pressure him. He's got great speed, but no one's ever pressured him. Well, it's hard to pressure when fast hands are coming back at you. And he can punch moving back.
So far, Salido has not given Gamboa the impression that Gamboa can simply overwhelm him at will. You know, when two fighters square off at this level, there's something about the opponent that gives a fighter a sense. Can I overwhelm this guy or not? Does this guy know what he's doing? And I think Gamboa clearly thinks Salido knows what he's doing. He can't just do whatever he wants.
There was a good right hand by Salido that gave Gamboa some pause there.
Otra botella de agua. Toma aire, toma aire, toma aire.
Breathe, breathe, breathe.
Toma aire, men.
Breathe, babe.
Toma aire,
Breathe.
no hay lío. Vamos, vamos, Tony.
Let's go, Tony.
Ahí, 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 vamos,
That's
toma
it.
aire.
Breathe,
Sí, toma aire, men.
breathe.
Ahí. Escucha, escucha, escucha. Amenaza,
Listen,
tú sabes cómo tú controlas eso, men.
you know how
con
you're
tus
controlling that with your
movimientos
movement, with your lateral
laterales. No tienes
movements.
que saltar nada más de
With the
pasarte
lateral
al lateral.
movements.
¿Me entiendes?
You understand?
Lo está siguiendo, no. Tira, tira, ya despierta, Salido.
You must throw,
Él es rápido,
Salido.
pero
Wake
tú
up now.
también, ¿qué pasó?
He's fast, but you are too. What happened?
Nada más lo está siguiendo.
You're
no
only
lo sigas
following
ya.
him.
Tira golpes, ¿ok?
On a gorgeous night in Las Vegas, Nevada. HBO's Boxing After Dark. So glad you can join us. Yuriorkis, Gamboa, Orlando Salido embark upon round number 4. Like a slight nick on the left eye of Salido. If you remember late in that round, Max, the heads came together momentarily, accidentally. You saw Salido kind of paw. So keep our eye on that left eye.
And Salido, meanwhile, has begun this round a little more active. He, as we mentioned, pressure fighters tend to become more active as the fight goes on. Salido's no exception, and here he looks to me as though he's trying to get his punches off. A little more urgency early in this round.
Saca los brazos. Bring! Bring out, bring out. Bring! Cuidado con la cabeza. Cuidado con la cabeza.
Oh, nice combination by Gamboa. Caused Salido to take a step back.
That really was impressive. Gamboa hit him 4 times before Salido knew what happened.
All right, bring! Bring! Suéltalo limpio.
Good jab by Gamboa.
¡Oh! ¡Hey! Espérate. No empuja la cabeza para esto, ¿ok?
I know Pacquiao's a ridiculous ideal, but part of, standard, part of that ideal of the athletic pressure fighter is that he's moving his hands in combination. And you see when Gamboa does move his hands in combination, Salido has no answer. It's the pot shots and the ones and the 1-2s where Gamboa starts to become a less interesting fighter.
Suéltalo. No aguante esto.
Saw that left jab by Gamboa. Just kind of get Salido off balance. Salido, you could see in his brain, he was thinking, here's what I want to do. And then suddenly, off balance a little.
Yeah, Gamboa doesn't give you a lot of time to think.
Good lead left hook. Found the face of Salido.
Good left hook to the body from Gamboa.
Break!
End of round 4, another good round for Gamboa.
No, lo único que tiene que hacer la amenaza.
The only thing you have to do.
There's legendary
for that
boxing promoter Bob Arum with his family. We'd like to extend our condolences on behalf of all of us here at HBO. Bob lost his son John, who was 49 years of age, in a tragic hiking accident in the state of Washington. Had a chance to talk with Bob. I know you did as well, and we send our condolences to Bob and his entire family on that loss.
You got to keep going with your hands up. All right, keep your hands up. Let's go, breathe.
Vamos allá.
Let's go for it. Don't keep your guard down.
Vamos. Oye,
Round number 5 begins for Yuriorkis, Gamboa, and Orlando Salido. Gamboa rips the left hand. Sweat flies off the head of Salido.
I got the sense that midway through the 4th round, Gamboa went from thinking, you know, this guy knows how to handle himself, I can't just overwhelm him.
Hey, Gamboa, quiere una limpio, quiere limpio, no dan a break. Okay?
He went from that to thinking, well, I can't overwhelm him, but I can sort of do what I want from the outside with him. And he seems content to just pick Salido apart from this range.
And, you know, Gamboa is doing a nice job of using his legs, but not running. It's effective usage of the legs, something that Peterson in our first fight was never able to do, use his legs but be effective.
Yeah, it's almost like a video game where a kid has figured out a trick move that he can just keep using. Gamboa gets in, he gets out. Sometimes it's a pot shot, sometimes it's a 1-2. When he thinks the time is right, it's 4 punches and then he slips away. Although, as we're saying this, Salido's having a better round, starting to actually land some more.
Not a knockdown, not a knockdown. Gamboa sort of flipped down Salido. Joe Cortez continuing to warn both fighters, keep it clean, fight clean.
There's Gamboa just circling from the outside, looking for the vulnerability, jumping in. Kind of poking with the jab, not really throwing it. There it is, but really more like a rangefinder. Slipping a little shot, and then he's out.
You know, Gamboa told us during the fighter meeting, though, that it's very important for him to knock this guy out, sort of make a statement. Does he look committed to that, Max?
You know, for a normal fighter, he's having a really good performance against a good world-class fighter. Although he's getting hit more this round, and that's Salido's sneaky right hand. I mentioned off the top of the fight, and he could use that to good effect against Gamboa if he starts to time him with it. But so for a normal fighter with normal kind of athletic gifts, hey, look at this, he's dominating Salido. It's not the expectation, it's that Gamboa has the ability to capture the imagination of the fight fan with what he's capable of doing, and that hasn't come out so far tonight.
You know, that's from his own words, too, about wanting to knock this guy out and put on a good show.
He got hit a bunch that round, Gamboa, a lot more than he had been hit previously.
No, tranquilo, tranquilo. Oye,
relax, relax, baby. Relax. Listen to your corner, relax.
Tranquilo, toma aire, toma aire.
Relax, breathe.
Toma aire.
Breathe.
Toma aire. Oye, ese tipo está
listen.
fácil para los López, compay.
That guy's ready. He's set for those uppercuts. Hey, baby.
Métete un golpe compacto para que tú veas que te lo lleva.
Next, there's Juan Manuel Lopez, who owns a featherweight belt, sizing up the future competition.
That fight would be, they're both top-ranked fighters, and that's the fight the Top Rank hopes to make into a big super fight in the featherweight division down the road.
I trained you. I know you're conditioning. Don't doubt yourself.
Vamos.
So Gamboa and Salido embark upon the start of round number 6 in the scheduled 12-rounder from the Palms in Las Vegas. What could Salido do, Max? You mentioned that sort of sneaky right. What could Salido do and build upon what he did in the last round?
He's starting to do it. He's applying a little more pressure. He's letting his hands go a little bit more, although as we can see here, there's more counterpunching opportunities for Gamboa. this is Salido and Zaragoza's belief that the second half of the fight will belong to Salido, that he would have to sacrifice the first half to get close enough to Gamboa to start doing what he did in the last round. And he's doing some more of it here. I mean, he's landing consistently now against Gamboa in the last round and a half.
What should Gamboa do?
Gamboa, really, I think what I'd like to see from Gamboa is a more consistent jab, although that's never really been his thing. But when he's not throwing the jab in 2 and 3 jabs at a time, he's relying on his athleticism to, when he spies an opening, quickly take advantage and then get out. It's more of a kind of drifting moment-to-moment strategy instead of a sort of coherent offensive game plan.
He's allowing himself to at times to get tied up or force a tie-up when it's unnecessary, which if you watch a lot of amateur boxing, something I've watched a lot of over the last decade, that's like the modus operandi. You throw a combination, you get close to your opponent, then you put your arms up under his, and you wait for the referee to say break.
And in the amateurs, Gamboa, no one's more experienced and successful than Gamboa in the amateurs. It's not a bad strategy, and it was a good one for Gamboa. In the pros, and Salido's the classic example of a classic pro who had to really learn on the job and fight his way up through the ranks. What happens when a guy tries to tie you up? You keep moving your hands, you come in with your head, which Gamboa is now using to good effect. Excuse me, Salido, he just did it again there. And you start turning it into the ugly kind of fight that a pretty amateur like Gamboa doesn't want.
See the jab numbers in the fight. Gamboa's thrown 111 to 69 for Salido.
Already Gamboa is in a place that he's never been in his pro career before. Against an experienced fighter who comes on in the second half of the fight. Now facing 2 rounds where if he didn't lose them, and he may have, he certainly got hit a lot in them, with an uncertain second half of the fight ahead.
Don't follow him. Don't just follow him. You just have to throw punches, that's all. And it'll change everything, Salido. The situation will change. Breathe, breathe.
You see that Gamboa has landed at 24%. Let's take a look at the punch zone. And the punches from Gamboa landed to Salido. You see 33 to the body. Most of the work has been going to the head. Only 33 of the 124 have gone to the head. He's hit 24 of 113 jabs, 21%, 100 of 270 power shots. You know, with those quick hands, he's been able to knock around Salido, but Salido seems to be sort of digging in a little, Max.
He has, as we mentioned, the last 2 rounds, his corner has got to be happy with it.
All right, Harold Letterman, how do you see it to this point?
Okay, Bob. 59-55, 5 rounds to 1, Yuriorkis Gamboa. Yeah, he's the more talented guy. He's got the quicker hands, but Salido, like Max said, in rounds 5 and 6, has given him fits. I mean, Salido's pressuring him, keeps working. And, you know, Yuriorkis Gamboa very often will stop and grab you. But as far as the scoring goes, you got to give credit to Gamboa for that clean, effective punching. He's got 6 good hand speed, very good defense, good legs, good ring generalship. You know, he's the total package. If he'd step it up a little bit, I think he'd really dominate. But Salido's giving him a heck of a fight. 5-1 Gamboa.
Every time Harold starts talking, the old Gamboa comes out. The aggressive power punching, combination punching Gamboa comes out.
Cutting into Harold's airtime. It's a common sight, though, of that right arm of Gamboa up underneath his opponent's arm with the little lock.
Now, all this said about what Gamboa's not doing right and what Salido is. Salido's a world-class fighter. Gamboa's winning most of the rounds and getting criticized for it, and it gives you an idea of the expectations of Gamboa. On Gamboa.
We're at the Palms in Las Vegas, Nevada. HBO's Boxing After Dark. Bob Papa, Max Kellerman ringside. Yuriorkis, Gamboa, and Orlando Salido in a scheduled 12-rounder. There have been no knockdowns. Earlier tonight, Brandon Rios defeated undefeated Anthony Peterson, as Peterson was disqualified in round number 7 for repeated low blows in a fight that Rios was winning on all 3 judges' scorecards.
And now back to criticizing Gamboa some more. He has the chance, he has the kind of ability, and he looks like the kind of fighter that makes people say the next day on a Monday at work, were you watching Boxing After Dark on Saturday night? This kid Gamboa is unbelievable. You gotta watch him. You must see TV. You can't miss it when this guy fights. And not just another fast, good fighter, you know, who can win on points or maybe stop his guy late. He offers the potential for that water cooler buzz. And though he's boxing well at times here, he's not giving a kind of water cooler buzzworthy performance.
You know, in the 9 fights that CompuBox has charted for Gamboa, this is the most he's ever been hit.
And he does show flashes of defensive brilliance, or at least competence. As you were mentioning that, Bob, Salido missed 4 punches from close range.
And you also have to mention that in a lot of those fights, they were, you know, 2nd and 3rd round knockouts against much lesser competition. So, of course, he wouldn't get hit a lot if he's finishing people off in 2 rounds. Whoa! Gamboa after the bell.
I don't think that was dirty. They were just caught up in the moment. Gamboa was showing off some of that athleticism, and it's too bad the bell happened to ring.
Don't do that. Don't do that. It's okay, I'm sorry.
Next Saturday night on HBO pay-per-view, Sugar Shane Mosley returns to the ring for the first time since his loss last May to Floyd Mayweather. Mosley will be taking on former 150-pound titleist Sergio Mora. And on September 21st, it's the premiere of the next Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel. With the baseball playoffs right around the corner, we'll visit with Yankees ace CC Sabathia, who's in hot pursuit of his first 20-win season.
Here we see that action from the end of the round. Gamboa.
Well, they both threw punches after the bell. You heard the bell, and they both threw punches.
He's getting athletic there is what he's doing. And the interesting thing about flourishes like that, and I don't think fighters who want to put on a show always understand this. It's not that in and of themselves they're so impressive, that he can kind of leave his feet like that and use his power punch as though it's a jab, and while he's making the other guy miss. It's not that in and of itself the athletic feat is so impressive or great to watch. It's that it suggests what the guy is capable of doing. It suggests this that we're seeing right now.
Good right hand by Gamboa after a good combination, and back comes Salido, putting down Gamboa.
He got hit, it was a knockdown, but it looks like he also slipped on the canvas. Those signs get wet.
5th time in Gamboa's career he's been down. So Salido told us in the fight, I mean, we know this kid will go down. Left hand by Salido. Left hand by Gamboa.
Gamboa, in unloading his heavy artillery, is taking some in return.
Gamboa trying to hold and Salido trying to punch out of it.
Now, this fight got really interesting really quickly.
Okay, break, limpio.
Things were going Gamboa's way, and then he took a counter shot and went down.
Break.
And with the shots that he absorbed after he got up, Bob, I think that were most telling about the knockdown. What appeared to me to be more of a slip than a knockdown, though it was officially a knockdown. the way he was absorbing some of those shots after the fact made me think, no, maybe he really was a little hurt.
Maybe he was hurt, yeah. That's always one of the question marks about Gamboa. You know, he could be explosive, and we mentioned it at the top of the show. We mentioned it in the main event setup. There's always that added intrigue with him because he's been down now 5 times.
And that happens when you keep your hands down, too, as he's doing now. Hands are at his side.
Leading with your chin. Not a good idea. End of round 8, a round in which Gamboa went down.
Siéntate, men. Ven. Oh my.
Breathe now.
Oh my. Oh my.
Breathe, breathe.
Menas, óyeme a mí. Óyeme a mí. Óyeme a mí.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
No, déjale la cabeza.
Listen, leave his head alone. Leave his head alone.
Mira, escucha lo que te voy a decir.
Listen what I'm telling you.
Lo único que te hace falta.
The only thing that you need to do
tu boxeo. Tú tienes mejor boxeo
is to
que él.
box.
Lo viste que
You've got better
empezaste bien.
boxing than he
Ese
does.
conteo que te dio el árbitro, eso es mierda.
Here's Gamboa on the attack. And just when things started looking good for Gamboa, like this is the guy we came to see. He gets caught with that counter. And hard to tell if he slipped. I mean, certainly it was a hard shot that stunned him. That was no, but he's still standing up, and then his own left hook brought him down. So, you know, I don't even know if that should have been called a knockdown. I don't know if that was a delayed reaction or if that was his own left hook and him slipping on the canvas as he threw it.
According to CompuBox, Gamboa's punch output has dropped in each of the last 3 rounds. 89 in round 6, 59 thrown in round 7, 58 thrown in round 8. Left hand from Salido caught the chin of Gamboa. Get their feet tangled.
Talk about discipline in an athletic, aggressive fighter. You know, if a fighter's not that athletic, how much choice does he have? He has to make the fight. He'll get outboxed usually. But an aggressive athletic fighter, I think that discipline manifests itself in that the fighter's aggressive whether or not he feels perfectly comfortable. That his reliance on his technique makes him feel comfortable enough to attack. And Gamboa, it seems, is 2 different fighters. One, the guy who's not comfortable enough to believe he can simply overwhelm his opponent. That's the perimeter of the ring pot-shotting Gamboa, who's less exciting but maybe more effective in the long run. And then there's the exciting Gamboa who feels comfortable enough to go on the attack. The problem is he does it without discipline. He does it with his hands down because he is comfortable. And it makes him vulnerable. I guess it's not a problem for fans, but it's a problem for Gamboa.
One of the reasons why he's been down 5 times, and he tends to be a little wide, Max, with these hooks and right hands, and Salido has stepped in between that and fired straight shots right there.
I mean, that right hand lands 3 inches higher, and Gamboa's on the canvas.
Yeah, he just kind of walks in with his hands down.
And that Salido's sneaky right hand, he put the lights out.
It's interesting that you mentioned that too when he came in with his hands down, guys. Having called Olympic boxing since 1992, you can see that those are some of the things you see in the Olympics. You know, you got the headgear on, pat, 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 you throw a punch, and then you just wade in, your hands are down, you get tied up. Stop.
It's amateurish by definition.
Breathe. No, this is the 10th round. This is the 10th round.
Ya no lo estés siguiendo nada
You can't
más.
follow
No
him
lo
anymore.
sigas,
Don't
Salido.
follow him.
Es lo único que estás haciendo.
Salido, don't follow him. That's the only thing you're doing.
Cuando tiras 3 golpes,
When you
lo
throw
agarras
3
sin el
punches,
problema.
you catch it with at least 1.
Rapidito.
Fast.
Tienes la condición.
You've got the
Salido.
conditioning, Salido.
Okay.
Vamos allá, la amenaza. Vamos. Vamos, la amenaza.
Let's go, let's go, let's
Límpiate
go.
bien.
Let's get him.
Límpiate bien.
Clean yourself up.
Límpiate bien. Vamos, va. Bien aquí. Fuerza, coño. Vamos.
Strength, go on.
Round limpio. Round limpio los dos. Round limpio.
We begin round number 10. Let's check in once again with Harold Letterman.
Okay, Bob. I think this fight's getting closer. 86, 84, 6 rounds to 3. Yuriorkis Gamboa. You got to give Orlando Salido credit for the knockdown. He gets a 10-8 round in round 8. I thought he also won round 9, where, Yuriorkis Gamboa was really flicking out punches instead of standing flat-footed and landing power shots. I mean, he's on his toes. He just flicks out the jab like he's doing here and not doing any damage with it. On the other hand, Salido moving in, landing good, straight, hard shots, doing some damage. So I thought Salido came on, won 2 rounds in a row. You got to give him an extra point for the knockdown, so he's making it closer. 86-84 Gamboa.
I do not disagree, Harold. I think you're right on the mark with that.
I agree.
All right, break.
In fact, that's what I have on my card.
When Gamboa fights like this at this level, we're seeing him now for the first time against this level of opponent. Real world, full-fledged world-class featherweight. Among the top of the division. He reminds me more of Nassim Hamed, Prince Nassim Hamed, who is a fantastic fighter for a short while, but never technically sound enough and disciplined enough to truly become a great fighter, even though physically it looked like he had the ability.
Yeah, I mean, just little things here or there that stop him from being better.
And Gamboa, while he's a good puncher, it's his speed that jumps out at you more than the punching power. Hamed, while he was fast, it was the punching power that jumped out at you more than the speed. And so Hamed could be in a tough fight against the top featherweight and end it with 1 shot, which bailed him out a couple times. Remains to be seen if Gamboa has that kind of power at this level of the game.
The time it was Salido doing most of the holding. He had Gamboa around the waist.
No pegue, no pegue, no pegue. No pegue.
Good left hand, and that hurt Salido. Combination and then a left hand.
The answer briefly to my question looked like yes. He certainly hurt Salido with that left hand.
And I think that's a slip. That's a slip. I almost think that when Salido was hurt, Gamboa came in and it almost helped hold up Salido.
Yeah, that happens from time to time.
No
The
pegue,
guy
no
doesn't
pegue,
let
no
his
pegue, no
opponent
pegue.
fall.
No pegue. Break.
End of round 10, a round that nearly saw Salido go down.
Descansa. ¿Está bien?
Relax, you okay? Yes.
De a 3 golpes, de a 3 golpes.
3
Salido.
punches, 3
Faltan
punches,
2 rounds.
Salido. 2
2
more rounds.
rounds.
There's only 2 more rounds, Salido, and this is done.
Cuando él se va a boxear, lo
When he
dejas
starts
descansar.
boxing, you let him rest. You see that?
Atácalo,
Attack,
atácalo,
attack,
atácalo. Son
attack.
6 minutos.
There's 6
Te
minutes left.
preparaste mucho tiempo.
You prepared a long
En 6
time for this.
minutos, Ataca, ataca, vivo.
Vamos allá.
Let's go for it. Let's go.
Oye, te lo lleva con el fin de izquierda. Acuérdate.
Listen, you got him.
Here's the left hook. Caught him almost on the back of the head. High off, no, here's the left hook, sorry. Caught him on the side of the face. And did the knee hit the canvas? Hard to tell. I didn't see it live, and I hit the canvas, and I don't think it did.
I don't think it did either, Max.
But there's no definitive look there, so it's a moot point anyway.
points academic.
A much needed round for Gamboa. Things are starting to go the other guy's way, and now Gamboa sits down on his punches a little, lands with a lead left hook, jumps in with the right hand, shoves back Salido. Salido holding Gamboa's right arm and forcing the tie-up. And there's a cut on the head of Salido. Was it from a clash of heads or a punch? Yep. Accidental clash of heads.
And that was Salido holding on to Gamboa, and Salido initiating that kind of headbutt contact, to my eye anyway. It was Gamboa going for the knockout there.
And if this fight gets stopped because of that accidental clash of heads, since we're past the 4th round, they go to the judges' scorecard.
All right. No pegues, suéltalo. No pegues, break. Suéltalo.
Nasty cut on the forehead of Salido.
No pegues.
Seems to be affecting his vision.
Gamboa now pot-shotting and having fun. Good right hand to the body by Gamboa.
Although you'd think with the blood going into the left eye, Gamboa should be circling to his right to take advantage of the blindness in that eye. Obscured vision in that eye.
Lead uppercut by Gamboa. Max, you can see from the last round when Gamboa hurt Salido and feeling a little bit more comfortable. He's had much better flow to his action here in this round.
He has. It's been a dominant round for Gamboa, although he has been clipped at times. It's mostly because he's looking to engage offensively.
End of round number 11.
Ya tenés listo la grasa.
Get the Vaseline ready.
Okay. Rífate.
Now you got to go for it all. Gamble. Lively.
Right there, I think, Max, that clash of heads is where the cut was opened up on Salido's forehead.
And I shouldn't have blamed Salido for that. He wasn't looking for that. Gamboa was coming in. He was leading with his head. I don't think either guy wanted that outcome. Although Salido was intentionally, it seemed to me, headbutting earlier in the fight.
All right, Harold Letterman, how do you have it scored through 11?
Okay, Bob. 106, 102, 8 rounds to 3, Yuriorkis, Gamboa. Bob, I got to tell you, in the championship rounds, this guy proved that he's a champion. I mean, I thought Orlando Salido tired in the 10th round. I mean, his mouth is wide open. He's been putting on a determined effort the entire 12 rounds, coming forward, putting a lot of pressure on Gamboa.
Oh, knockdown right there.
Right on the sign again. I mean,
6, 7, 8, sí, aguante tocó.
These slippery painted signs, the logos on the canvas, are much higher than most people think. I think in the list of things that could be fixed in boxing. Every time you get an action heating up in the middle of the ring, someone slips.
Good left-right combination by Gamboa. You're telling Joe Cortez to stop it? Left hand by Gamboa.
Gamboa against the sitting duck is certainly spectacular.
Down goes Salido.
Hold time. Hold time. Hold time. Hold time. Hold time. Hit him while he was down. Duck.
Well, they're saying now that he hit him while he was down.
Hey, wait, come here. 2 puntos. 2 puntos.
Joe Cortez has taken 2 points away.
And this is dramatic all of a sudden. Those 2 points may be significant. And Gamboa here gunning for a knockout against a hurt opponent.
But wasn't he knocked down, though? He was knocked down, and then he got hit when he was down.
That's a good point, Bob. And the knockdown should count for a point for Gamboa. So it's really that it negates it should negate one of the 2 points deducted.
And well, there was another knockdown early in the round, so it's 8-8.
Stand corrected again. You're absolutely right, although it looked like a slip.
But it was ruled a knockdown. Salido was obviously down there, although Joe Cortez never gave a count for a knockdown.
No, I think you're right. I think it's 2 points off each guy. Since Gamboa's won the round big, it's Gamboa's round.
No pegging. No pegging. Suelta.
Harold, let me ask you this. The 2 points immediately deducted?
No pegging, no pegging.
Why?
Well, Joe Cortez obviously called it an intentional foul. That's where the referee deducts 2 points. So, as this round stands right now, Gamboa wins the round. He loses 2 points. He's got 8 points total. Salido got knocked out officially once, so he loses a point. It's just like you said, it's 8-8.
Wait a minute, Harold. That other knockdown isn't a knockdown. In order to hit the guy while he's down, he had to knock him down first. So Gamboa should be up a point in this round.
Possibly.
Right, you're right, because it wasn't officially ruled in an obvious way.
Exactly. Cortez never counted.
A really good last 3 rounds for Gamboa.
And very interesting. I don't think I've ever quite seen a 12th round like that.
Well, Salido went down in the first part of the round. He said he wasn't down. It was ruled a knockdown. Then he got knocked down again, although Joe Cortez never began a count, and he took 2 points away from Gamboa for hitting Salido while he was down and then hitting him in the back of the head a second time. So 2 points were taken away from Gamboa. All right, well, let's see if this all figures out on the judges' scorecards. We're going to show you some of the replays. First from round number 8, when Salido started to get a little control of his own in this fight. In round number 8, it was a good round for Salido, and Gamboa's having his way. Nice right hand, follows up with a right uppercut. Then Salido's going to answer with a counter shot of his own coming up right there. He was quicker to the punch. Gamboa went down in round number 8. Gloves touched, clearly a knockdown. Then in round number 12, early parts of the round, Gamboa stalking Salido after a good round 10. That was ruled a knockdown. You see Salido's glove touched, so that is a knockdown. Whether Salido was hurt or not, says he was pushed, but there was a punch thrown and Salido's glove hit the ground. So correct ruling by Joe Cortez. Now we move to the later part of the round, and you see Gamboa moving in, shoots a left hand, misses over the top with a right, lands a left-right combination that knocks Salido down. He's down, and then Gamboa hits him in the back of the head. That's the 2-point deduction right there. Take a look at it. It's clearly on this second knockdown of the round. There's a left hand and a right hand comes in, and Salido clearly goes down as he falls into the ropes. Watch, his right glove is going to touch the canvas. right there, which makes that a knockdown. Although Joe Cortez didn't come in for the count because Gamboa was foolish and ill-advised to come down. And why would you hit a guy when he's down? So Joe Cortez rightfully deducted points for hitting Salido in the back of the head when he was down. Why Gamboa would do that, I don't know. He's a professional fighter. It's not a street fight. He should know that. So that's the recap as we take a look at tonight's judges scoring the fight. Richard Houck from Nevada, 8 title fights. Had Guerrero's decision over Casamayor. Robert Hoyle, 24 title fights. Scored the Mayweather fight over Mosley, 118-110 for Mayweather. Pretty easy score. And Paul Smith, 42 title fights on his resume. So those are the judges' resume for this Gamboa-Salido fight. Wild night here in Vegas between the low blows and the Peterson-Rios fight. Harold Letterman's scorecard, 114-110. He had an 8-8. He counted the 2 knockdowns in the last round, and the 2-point deduction made it an 8-8 round, and a round that Gamboa did win. Well, Lupe Contreras is going to sort it all out for us with the judges' scorecards.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 grueling rounds, the official scorecard reads as follows. Judge Houck scores it 116 to 109. Robert Hoyle, 114 to 109. And Paul Smith, 115 to 109. All 3 in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. And now, IBF and WBA featherweight champion of the world, El Ciclón de Guantánamo, Yuriorkis, Gamboa.
So the Cyclone of Guantanamo gets to 19-0 with a unanimous decision victory over Orlando Salido in the stiffest test of Gamboa's young professional career, 2004 Olympic gold medalist. And there was a little bit of a diversity in this fight that they had to deal with as we take a look at the total punch numbers in this fight. You see that Gamboa threw 21 less, landed at 35%. Gamboa 52 of 234 with the jab. Salido did not use the jab effectively at all, landing at 7%. We take a look at the power numbers in the final round. Gamboa landed 22 of 46, 48% for the fight. He threw 100 less, but as you can see, he landed more throughout the balance of the fight, and he knocked down Salido twice in the last round. And we'll take a look at the final punch zone look for you and see that Salido did a good job of landing 64 punches to the body. Gamboa 45 to the body. Gamboa pot shot and go to the head. Good thing, no low blows in this fight. Something we saw in our first bout of the evening. That's a look at the punch zone for you. Max Kellerman is standing by with the winner, Yuriorkis Gamboa.
Congratulations, Yuriorkis, on a win. Your first 12-round win against a real world-class opponent. Where does this fight rank in the toughest of your professional career?
Bueno, realmente, sin duda, esta ha sido la mejor pelea que he tenido. Una pelea fuerte, 12 rounds, y siempre insistiendo de ambos lados los boxeadores.
Without a doubt, it's been the toughest fight that I've had, and it's been tough 12 rounds, and we insisted on both hands, on both sides.
Why was it so tough?
Bueno, fue tan difícil porque una vez que le golpeaba a Salido, Salido trataba de seguir adelante y tratar de buscarle el combate.
Because every time I hit him, Salido would come back and he would try to look for a fight.
The standard is very high for you. How do you think you did tonight against the standard?
Bueno, realmente me siento en óptimas condiciones, lo cual he demostrado en este cuadrilátero en el día de hoy con un boxeador de alto rendimiento y a la vez que me insistió y supe superarlo en todos los rounds.
You know, I'm in top physical conditioning, and this was a great fight, and it was shown that every time he insisted, I was able to come through.
So is this the Gamboa that we're now to expect? Not the same kind of reckless offensive fighter that we all fell in love with, but the more disciplined Gamboa?
Bueno, este va a ser el Gamboa que a partir de ahora van a ver mucho mejor, más disciplina, más concentración en el cuadrilátero, menos desesperación y seguir adelante.
This is the Gamboa that you're going to see from now. More discipline, more control, and less desperation. And that's the way we're going to continue.
So you're happy with the performance?
Muy contento con este resultado, importante para mí.
Very happy with this result, and I'm very happy. It's very good for me.
Were you hurt by the knockdown? Do you feel it was a legitimate knockdown?
No, realmente no fue un lastimado. Simple y llanamente mi cruzado de izquierda, me fui en el aire y obviamente me fui con el giro completo.
I wasn't hurt. It was just my left cross, and I went into the air, and then I lost my balance and went down.
Juan Manuel Lopez is here tonight watching. Both promoted by Top Rank. The idea is obviously to eventually have you guys fight each other, hopefully sooner than later. What are your thoughts about that fight?
Bueno, esta pelea se ha planificado hace unos tiempo atrás. Bobaron ha decidido en ocasiones ponerme a Juanma, pero no ha sido decisivo. Pienso que sea la última vez que tome la decisión para ponérmelo.
This fight has been talked about for a while, and Bob Arum has been trying to get this together, but unfortunately it hasn't been done. But definitely it will happen with Bob Arum whenever he decides it'll be done.
Thanks and congratulations, Yuriorkis. Bob.
All right, thank you very much, Max. Well, a crazy night here at the Palms in Las Vegas. A lot of crazy things happened in the ring outside of the normal boxing action and knockdowns. We saw a lot of fouls, and it all started in our first bout of the evening between Anthony Peterson and Brandon Rios. Peterson 30-0 with 20 knockouts, but he gets dropped in the midway point of the fight. Rios dug in, and it worked for him well. Now, in the course of this fight, Peterson would get called for a couple of low blows in round number 6, and then one more near the end of round number 7. He was disqualified. I should note that Rios was ahead on all 3 judges' scorecards. Then in our main event, Yuriorkis, Gamboa, Orlando, Salido. Gamboa went down in the 8th round. Salido wound up going down in round number 12. Gamboa able to dig in and attack. Then late in the fight, after Salido went down, Salido claiming that he was pushed, he went down again. Gamboa hit him in the back of the head. 2 points were deducted, but Gamboa wins a unanimous decision victory. Max Kellerman, your take on what you saw here this evening. A little bit of the wild, wild west here in the West.
Yuriorkis Gamboa is an excellent fighter. He really is an excellent fighter. He has that great amateur background, and he's now beaten a real good pro over 12 rounds, and he's a more disciplined fighter than he was. And I guess the standard of excellence that you want to see him achieve, or that I'd like to see him achieve, maybe is an unfair standard. But I'm a little bit disappointed that he doesn't quite take the risks he used to. He's not quite as reckless as he was, so he's not quite as vulnerable. It's a little less exciting. He doesn't press for the knockout the same way, a little less exciting, but just effective enough to never really be in too deep against a guy like Salido. I guess I was wishing for more. You see moments of brilliance from Gamboa, like we've seen moments of brilliance from Devin Alexander recently. But what we're really looking for in boxing is a fighter other than Pacquiao and Mayweather when he fights, who can give us sustained brilliance. Paul Williams and Sergio Martinez deserve mention there too. Really sustained brilliance, and I didn't see that here tonight. The star of the night was Brandon Rios. Bob, he gave fans something to cheer about, and I can't wait to see him again.
Well, Brandon Rios, who got his life turned around, he was on the road to nowhere, recently got married, and all that hard work paid off. And you hope, too, for a kid like Anthony Peterson, that he can rebound from this, his first professional loss, because as we illustrated at the top of the show, obviously an amazing story. But a wild night here in Las Vegas, and maybe one of the reasons why Gamboa doesn't want to take all those chances. Max, now he's been down 5 times in 19 professional fights. Well, if you missed any of tonight's telecast, you can catch it in its entirety at the dates and times listed below. Coming up next on HBO, it's Hard Knocks training camp with the New York Jets. So for our entire crew, this is Bob Papa saying so long from Las Vegas, Nevada.
This has been a presentation of HBO Sports.